Hey, it's your boy Cosmic here, and today I've decided to rank every character in Joy Mech Fight from worst to best, simply because I have some interesting opinions, and I've gone 3 videos without mentioning any of them, and that's 3 videos too many. So, let's just get to the ranking thing. Hey, it's your boy Post-Editing Cosmic, just coming in to say that there won't be any actual gameplay shown for the rest of the video, it'll just be still images, and that's not for any, good reason or anything. I just can't be bothered to record gameplay for all of the characters in this game. Sorry if it hurts your feelings about it, go cry in the comments section, I really don't care. Also, the inferior clones, such as Scap-on Flame and Bok Bok, won't be featured in this video, and neither will Ho-Oh, just because he's banned in basically everything. He's not just banned in tournaments either. If you pick him against me, I will disconnect immediately and never talk to you again. And the award for worst character in this game goes to Zak. Yeah, it shouldn't be surprising at all. He's not good. He has one good move, which is this weird slide kick thing. Even that's just a worse version of the dash kick. Characters like Gel or Leo already have. But combine that with the fact that none of his other moves are any good, and you just have the worst character in the game. His normals, they're bad. They might as well not exist. And all of his other special moves take really long to charge, but they also have no range, so if you use them at long range, you're not gonna hit anything, and if you use them at close range, you'll just get punished before they can even come out. So yeah, he's not a good character. Do not pick Zak. Pick anyone else in this game, just not Zak. Anyway, up next after Zak is the second member of the Act Gang, Grec. He's really not much better than Zak, but he at least has some decent options. Sweep is pretty alright. Standing kick is pretty decent anti-air. Yeah, he's pretty terrible other than that. Reverse kick is an absolute monstrosity. Yeah, overall, still not a good character, just marginally better than Zak, so he's still not technically the worst. Allegedly, he's A tier, according to this 842 guy, but I don't believe that for a second. But yeah, after Grec is John. He's not very good. Honestly, he could be higher. I don't know. I don't really play as him all that much. I know nothing about this character. I'm gonna be honest. Just don't take this part too seriously, but yeah, from what I can gather, just from playing 2 games as him, he's not good. Don't pick him. Dachshund players are aliens. Up next is the first character that I could actually see someone being able to win anything as, Skater. Yeah, he's not good at all, but if you really like the way he plays, go ahead and pick him, and that applies for everyone from this point onwards. The real strange thing about Skater is that based on his moveset, it seems like he's supposed to be a rushdown character, but for both of his best approach tools, you have to hold the back button in order to be able to use them. I feel like this is a pretty decent character that just gets screwed over by having the worst inputs imaginable for this kind of character. I feel like if you change the inputs without actually changing anything about the character, he'd probably be a few spots higher on this list, so it's honestly a little disappointing. Yeah, moving on. Up next is Hover. He's perfectly serviceable. He's not good by any means, but he's decent. Really, I might actually pick him if he wasn't just a worse version of Legend. If you enjoy this character, just pick Legend. He's better in every aspect, and they have really similar movesets. I don't really want to spend too much time talking about Hover because his moveset is just a worse version of Legend. Moving on to a character actually worthy of my time, we have Old. This guy is actually pretty interesting. Most of his game plan revolves around keeping opponents away with both his normals and specials. He actually has some of the best normals in the game. They're not phenomenal or anything, but this is Joy Mech Fight. Normals aren't meant to be phenomenal. But yeah, I think his biggest weakness is that if you get in on him, it's very difficult for him to get you off him. He doesn't have any great kind of get off me tools. He doesn't have any escape tools. Really, he doesn't have that many options, but as long as he can keep you away, he's good. And he's actually pretty decent at doing that. He's far from the best character for this. If this style of gameplay appeals to you, I'd say just wait until later on in the video for better characters. But if you really like his design or his moveset specifically, go ahead and pick Old. He's actually, honestly, there aren't any Old players at the moment, but if there were, he would probably be a few spots higher because I honestly think this character has a lot of potential that just goes completely unnoticed. Moving on from one interesting layer tier to another, we have Geo. This character is also kind of interesting just because of the way he moves around. this air glide thing isn't something any other character has, and as a result, it gives him a kind of unique feel. Problem is, it's not good. Once you see it come out, you always know where it's going. So it needs to be used really carefully in order to work. Like, it's not like, say, Senju and Ashura's drill thing, where you can control the speed of it. No, it just goes same speed every time. This means that a lot of his game plan revolves around using projectiles at long distances, and then at kind of middle distances using the air glide, and then at close ranges using his rapid attack. So he's kind of okay at any distance, really. He doesn't really have any place where he wants to be, like how Old wants to be far away from opponents, Grec wants to be close to them, Zak doesn't want to be anywhere, you know. I'd say his biggest weakness is how linear he is, which makes him kind of predictable. You always know what he's going to be doing at long range. You know 9 times out of 10 what he's going to be doing at close range. You know what 9 times out of 10, again, what he's going to be doing at medium distance. There's not that many ways to play him. There is this weird hitbox storage thing you can do on his air glide, which I don't quite understand. I don't think anyone does, to be completely honest. All anyone really knows is that it exists. So just hop onto the JMF Discord. Shout out to the JMF Discord. And just talk to SLK about it if you want to know more about it. Anyway, moving on. And now for a character that's significantly less interesting, I'm going to talk about Ra. Despite his cool design and being based on a literal god, he's fine, I guess. What's confusing about this character is that he's supposed to be using his moves to keep people away, sort of like Old, actually, but yeah, problem is, 2 of his special moves bring him towards the opponent. This is a very strange character. He is not a character I would recommend playing. Honestly, now I'd probably put him below Geo, but I made the PowerPoint for this a while ago, and I don't want to have to redo the whole thing just because of some fade transitions, so he still has to be here for now. But yeah, he's very strange. Honestly, I don't know much about him, so that's why this has been very vague, but yeah, moving on. Up next, we have Superzak. This is possibly one of the most ungood characters in the game, honestly. Basically just uses his dash kick over and over again to try and rush the opponent down. He also has a projectile, which is useless, and an uppercut move, which is actually pretty good. If you ever get the chance to use it, the uppercut's pretty decent. Against players who haven't played against him before, just using the dash kick over and over again is actually a very good strategy. And even against players who do know what they're doing, it can be somewhat difficult to get a hit in on him. So why is he this low? Yeah, you've read the slide this video is currently on, you know why. He's very easily stunned. He has the lowest stun value in the entire game, meaning that he gets stunned very quickly. A lot of characters in this game have infinite combos that work on him because of this, which is honestly kind of, you know what? I'm actually glad about it. This character is really annoying to fight, especially when you haven't fought him before, so this kind of balances him out in a way. He's not great, but overall, he's the first character on here that I would actually consider seriously tournament viable. Well, okay, the tournament part's maybe a little bit of a stretch, but the next one definitely is. Anyway, moving on to someone who I don't fully understand right now, Gel. Gel is probably the hardest character to play in this entire game, just because of his whole invisibility gimmick. Basically, if you press A and B at the same time, he goes completely invisible. He also has various infinite combos, so that's pretty cool, I guess. He has a dash kick, kind of like what Leo has. He also has this move where he spins around in the air for a bit. It's not good. I don't play Gel, but I've talked to Gel players, and they've told me it isn't good, and it doesn't. I can't see any use for it myself, so I'm just going to assume it's bad and you shouldn't use it. But yeah, overall, Gel's a very solid character. He's really difficult to use, so if you're new to this game, don't pick him up. But the invisibility mechanic's pretty cool, and yeah, overall, it's just a pretty interesting character. And next up, we have Giganto. Giganto's a weird character. He's capable of dishing out some serious damage if he gets in. Like, when he gets in, he gets in. This character is not to be underestimated, but, I mean, he's not very good at doing that. He gets memed by half of the characters in this game, and absolutely destroys the other half. It's really difficult to actually decide where to put him on this, because he's so matchup dependent. Against one character, he'll be perfect. Against another character, he'll be almost useless. He's really good against characters that need to approach. Like, his biggest weakness he has is that his approach tools aren't very good, and opponents can very easily keep him away. So when he doesn't even need to approach because the opponent's already doing it, it makes his whole game plan a lot easier, which is a very bad thing for the opponent because he has a throw that gets a lot of damage. Probably the only grappler in the game, I would say, so be very careful of him. He has a dash attack that also does a huge amount of damage. He has a weird air spinny thing, which isn't very good, but we don't talk about that. He has this one stun punish with it where he gets 32 damage, and it can infinite combo some characters, such as Superzak. Yeah, I'm rambling at this point. Basically, Giganto is very strange. And next up, we have my boy Star. I'm a Star player, but despite this, I actually don't have much to say about him. Pretty much everything of note that I've mentioned about this character was mentioned in my Star guide that I made, so if you want to know more about this character, just go watch that. And to be honest, the only point of him being here is to show how good I think he is relative to the rest of the characters in the game. There are probably a few people who are watching this who were really annoyed that I mentioned him this late in the video. I'm basically the only person, at least that I know of, that thinks he's this good. So this one's very heavily contested, but I still think he has a place at this point in the video. So yeah, Star, pretty cool character. You should pick him, and you'll probably get memed because he's pretty difficult to play as, but next up on this already very cursed video is Ashura. Ashura plays kind of similarly to Old, in that they use pretty much all of their moves to keep opponents away, except Ashura's a little more focused on punishing the opponent's mistakes. You have an anti-air for if you jump at them, they have a drill attack for, well, I don't know, but it has to be useful for something because it gets a lot of damage, and they have a rapid move also. So overall, a pretty interesting character. They're mostly spacing and punish focused. Probably Ashura's biggest weakness is the fact that they don't have any real tools to deal with projectiles, because if you're trying to keep people away, they can just go, alright, sure, yeah, I'll do that, and then stand at full screen range and spam projectiles, and I don't think Ashura really has that many tools to deal with that. But yeah, overall, pretty solid character. Moving on. And next up, we have Hanzo. Hanzo's also pretty interesting. He has really fast, I think he might have the fastest walk speed in the game. I'm not sure about that. I could be wrong, but I'm fairly certain he does. He has an air throw. He's the only character in the game that can throw people in midair, and it gets a lot of damage, and it's really satisfying. So if someone jumps at you, and you kind of jump and they're slightly below you, do it. Like, there's no reason not to. It's really, like, even aside from the damage you get, it's just really satisfying. He also has this, like, slide thing where he just kind of slides. And the thing where he makes his claws go a very long distance. The claw thing, where you do, like, back, forward, A, the claw thing can actually be cancelled into the slide, which I don't think any other characters can do anything like that in this game. They might be able to, but no one knows about it. But Hanzo is the only character who's known to be able to do something like that. Yeah, probably his only real weakness I can think of is that a lot of his moves are very situational. Like, he has options to deal with most situations, but those options are always very limited because his moves are highly linear. The long claw thing is only really used at long distances. The air throw is only in specific air situations. There's just a lot of that kind of thing with this character, so he can be a little predictable, but overall, still a really solid character. This is where we get into, like, the characters who could probably solo win a tournament. So yeah. Hanzo, very cool. I like him a lot. Moving on. And the next character is Leo. Leo is a fairly straightforward rushdown character. He's mostly focused on getting in and staying in and just getting in a lot of hits, which he's very good at too. His dash kick is one of the best in the game, I think. He can kind of angle it downward to kind of hop across the ground. Pretty much every character with a good dash kick can do this, but it's a large part of Leo's game plan. So if you want to pick this character up, I'd recommend you get used to doing that. He also has a thing where he can do, like, a diagonal downward kick in the air, which is really good for mix-ups. Yeah, he's just overall a pretty solid character. I'd say his only real weakness is his complete lack of escape tools. Like, if you get in on him, and he's not the one getting in on you, and you're kind of landing a series of, like, really huge hits on him, he can't really do much, but he's really good in neutral. If he gets an advantage, he's probably going to hold on to it for a long time. Overall, very solid rushdown character. Next. The next character on the list is Legend. He's actually kind of similar to Leo in that a lot of his game plan revolves around that weird hop dash thing, but he's a much more high-risk character than Leo. Like, I wouldn't say he's as difficult to play as Gel, but he's still a pretty difficult character to get the hang of. He gets stunned very easily, So if someone gets in a few lucky hits on him, he's fucked. Especially characters like Gel or Giganto who can infinite him. But yeah, just overall like a very high risk, high reward rushdown character. So if you like that kind of playstyle where you either win or lose, there's no kind of clutch wins with this character. He either gets in and stays in, or he just gets absolutely destroyed. So yeah, if you like that kind of gameplay, pick up Legend, but if you're looking for a kind of more safe character, don't do that at all. But yeah, anyway, moving on. And now for a character that's the complete opposite of Legend, we have Nay. I'd say Nay's biggest strength is probably his ability to control neutral. Most of his game plan revolves around his projectile, which he can change the speed of. Every projectile can have the speed changed, but the speed changing on Nay's projectile is some of the most extreme in the game. Like, the speed on most projectiles goes from slow to normal to fast. The speed on Nay's projectile goes from so slow it might as well be a trap to normal to so fast it becomes really difficult to react to. He has a lot of kind of weird projectile mix-ups, which I don't entirely understand. He also has an infinite with one move. If you do his EX Nay upper, that does so much damage. Characters with a low enough stun value will just get infinite comboed by it. It works on Star, Legend, Superzak, probably a few others too, but those are the three I can think of off the top of my head. Overall, a very dangerous character, but like Leo, he doesn't really have that many good escape tools. His uppercut can be like a good kind of get-off-me tool, but even that's pretty risky because the range is so bad, and it's very easily punished. So yeah, Nay certainly exists. He's pretty cool, I guess. Moving on. Next up, we have Skeptic, a character I personally wish didn't exist. Skeptic is kind of like a defensive, poke-heavy character. A lot of options in neutral. A lot of really good mix-ups off poke on roll. So there's that. Honestly, Skeptic's a fairly standard character. I'm not really sure what to say for this part. Just very good. Gets a lot of damage on attacks. Probably the best rapid in the game, just for how much damage it gets and how much range it has. You could probably get an infinite combo off of it, but I've never seen anyone do anything like that before, and I don't even know if it's possible, so yeah. Overall, very solid character. Not a fun character to fight, very annoying. So pick Skeptic if you like winning and don't like friends. Next up, we have Blaze. Blaze is that honest high tier that you constantly see scrubs telling people to play, but then they never say who it actually is. Blaze is that character. He's very good in neutral. He doesn't have any like crazy gimmicks or anything like that. He's just a genuinely really good character. He does have some pretty frustratingly good options, but pretty much all of them actually require you to be good at the game in order to use, so I think they're kind of balanced out by that. Honestly, if you're good enough at the game that you can use Blaze's best options, I think that kind of balances them out in and of itself. It's not like a certain character's dash move, which I will get to inevitably. Yeah, Blaze is... Again, I don't really have much to say about this character, just read the slide that I've got up right now. Moving on. And now for the first of the S tiers, we have Ghoston. Ghoston is another one of those characters that tries to use all of his moves to kind of keep opponents away. Problem is, he's really inconsistent. His hitboxes are very strange. Since hitboxes in this game are directly tied to projectiles, it's sometimes possible to go through his attacks. He's a very weird character to play. He has a projectile, which is nice. I don't think any of these other characters have projectiles, which immediately makes him better than all of the other spacing characters in this game. He's very good at keeping people out. If you get in on him, he's fucked, so... but the problem is, that's almost impossible to do. He's a really good character. Probably his biggest weakness I can think of is his really low stun value. He gets stunned very easily. He'd probably be one of the best characters in the game if he wasn't for his stun value. I think the Nay Infinite might work on him. I'm not sure, though. But yeah, overall, very solid character. Pick him if you really like spacing characters, but Ashura seems too normal for you. Yeah, moving on. Next up, we have my boy CBT man, I mean Jibber. He plays extremely similarly to Ghoston. He's kind of like Ghoston, but a little less high risk and more kind of all around. He's still very focused on spacing and keeping opponents away. He has no projectile, unlike Ghoston, but His hitboxes actually make sense. Pretty much most of the things that I've said about Ghoston that aren't about his weird hitboxes or his projectile also apply to Jibber. So pick him if you wanted to play Ashura, but you also really like S tiers, and you also and you like the funny man and his funny face and his funny cock and ball torture. Next up is Y. A lot of you until this point were probably thinking that I forgot about Y, because no one else puts him this high. I've never seen him anywhere near this good on a tier list, which is very good, because no one's found out how powerful he is yet, but oh god, he has this one thing he does, which just pretty much makes him, like, if he gets in on you once, you're fucked. It's his forward punch. He simultaneously has, it's kind of annoying, because he has some of the most interesting, unique movement options in the game, because of his air copter thing, but it's all rendered obsolete by his forward punch. If he hits you with it once, it knocks you down, and because of his really fast walk speed, he's able to just catch up to you and do it again. And there's pretty much no options to escape from it, because it goes up above him after it. So even if you have a character like, say, Star, for example, with escape options that go over the opponent, you're just gonna get hit after anyway by this weird after hitbox thing, which I don't like at all. He's very annoying to fight. If you get hit by his forward punch once, you're fucked. I might actually make a whole video just dedicated to this one move, kind of going over every character that can escape from it, because most of them can't. It's really difficult to punish on block as well, because he recovers really quickly, so he'll probably just be able to use it again before you can punish with anything. Oh god. Yeah, apparently SLK is planning on using Y in the next tournament he's in. So if you get put next to SLK and you start winning, fear for your life. Next up is Shenlong, who's kind of like Jibber and Ghoston, but more weird. He has this, like, fire breath move, which you can just spam and keep opponents away with. That's, like, a solid 70% of his game plan, if I'm being honest. The other 30% is taken up by his A plus B move, which sends him flying into the sky. It might look kind of terrible at first, but the first part of it turns his hurt boxes into hitboxes, making it literally impossible to attack him during it. If he just says no you to literally every attack in the game with this one move, oh god. He also has this, like, weird spin dash kick thing he does, which is kind of terrible, if I'm being honest. Don't use it. It's good in combos, but nothing else. Yeah, that's about all I can think of for bad things about this character. He does not have weaknesses. He's a bit scary, if I'm being honest. Yeah, moving on. We don't talk about Guyan. And now the moment you've all been waiting for, in my opinion, the best character in the game, Garborg. He's a garbage cyborg. No, I'm just kidding, he's very good. Most of his moves are kind of based around spacing and keeping the opponent away. He has a projectile, which automatically makes him better than all of the other spacing characters. And his hitboxes make sense, which makes him better than Ghoston. This character is very strange. Most of his moveset is based on spacing, but problem with that is Meta Tornado. Meta Tornado. Oh god, Meta Tornado. Basically what this move does is it's kind of like Leo's line-upper move, but it's a permanent hitbox. The only way to punish it is by using a counterattack on the way down. And even if you block it, it'll deal a lot of chip damage because it can hit multiple times on block. So yeah, Meta Tornado is a very good move. SLK made a video explaining how to punish Meta Tornado and which characters can do it and which characters can't, so I'll leave a link to that in the description. It's a pretty solid video. I'd recommend you give it a look. But yeah, overall, this character, I know it might not sound like it, but he's, in my opinion, the best character in the game. He's not the most annoying character. That goes to the other one that I just talked about. He has almost no weaknesses. His moves are pretty slow, so if you get in on him, okay, who am I kidding? He can just use Meta Tornado as a reversal. The thing that makes all of these, like, defensive spacing-based characters so bad is that if you get in on them, they don't really have many options to get you off them. Shenlong and Garborg just completely circumvent this option entirely, and it's why I believe that they're the two best spacing characters in the game. Overall, he's very good. If you're up against him, be afraid. And if you're playing as him, probably just picked him for tier position. So yeah, that's it for my character rankings. There's probably at least one thing in there you disagreed with. These are my patented meme opinions that will not go away no matter how much I try to make them go away. They will not go away. So let's just hope that Future Cosmic isn't too angry with me for uploading this video. And yeah, bye.